All right, welcome back. It's October 17th, and on October 11th, I was lucky enough to put a deer on the ground that I named SYM10. So today I'm gonna tell you the story of SYM10 from my point of view. So it started beginning of July. Me and Anthony scrambling, trying to figure out where we're gonna hunt at this year. So I had a piece that I was able to hunt last year that I hunted every now and then, never really touched it a whole bunch. I shot one doe there. Got pictures of deer, a couple 8-pointers, with some unique splits on their eye guards, but nothing, nothing huge. So I didn't hunt it a whole bunch. So fast forward to this year, I called the guy back up, and he told me I can go there and I can hunt, do whatever I want. So me and Anthony, we started scrambling further with getting cameras together, corn, salt blocks, stuff to kind of pull all the deer to one general area so we can see what we got going on. So we went out, we picked a day, and we set our cameras at all of our spots. So we sat them, threw some corn out, put a salt block out, and then we played the waiting game. We waited a week, and then I went and pulled my SD cards, and that was when SYM10 showed himself to me. That was the first time I ever got to see him. Was on that camera. He was on velvet. He was a nice looking deer. So we set our eyes on him. With him, there are other deer that are also target bucks for us. We knew we wanted him because of how mature he looked. He looks like a 4-year-old deer, if I had to take a guess. Had a nice sized body on him. His face was rather long, so I felt really comfortable trying to harvest this deer. So through the end of July into August, he's super consistent. Him and another deer that constantly come in with him. They're coming in 3 to 4 days in a row, 2 to 3 times a day. And it doesn't matter if it's 95 degrees outside, or if it's 102 degrees, or if it drops down to where it was like in the mid 80s during those like August periods. He was showing up on a time. He would show up in the morning between 7:45 and 9:30. That would be his time. He'd show up. He'd come in and out of the picture. You could see him. He would leave for a little bit, and then he'd come back. He would come back around 1 o'clock in the evening, stay for a little bit, and then he'd leave. And then he would come back again right before dark. So that was his consistency. So he would do that, and then he would disappear for 2 or 3 days. Disappear for 2 or 3 days, and then come back for another 6. Disappear for another 2 or 3 days, and come back. And luckily with the job that I have, I get to ride around the county, and I actually got to lay eyes on him in a field at the very top that is right on the side of the road that connects to the piece that I was able to hunt. So I got to see him on the top of the hill walking right towards where my cameras were set. And I told myself, I said, well, his 3 days must be up. And when I went back and checked my cameras, 2 or 3 days after I'd seen him, there he was. So that gets us through August, and then we come into September. So September is when all of our deer kind of started shedding a little bit, shedding their velvet. They stripped it down around mid-September. So, I've lived it in the past where deer kind of disappeared. That's their first like inconsistent moment that they hit for me, and he did just that. He went from being 6 days in a row to 3 days off to being 2 days here, disappear for 2 or 3, come back for 1, and he was coming from different angles every single time. So I had him patterned to where if it was a north wind, he would come from this direction. If it was a south wind, he'd come from this direction. I kind of pretty much pinpointed his 2 bedding points. So the way that the place that I have, you got water on the left side, I guess that's going to be on the west side. Water on the west side, food on the east side, and then I'm sitting right in the middle of them. So he would come depending upon the wind, that's the way that he would bed that night. So he was very consistent then. I got him, pinpointed, thought I had him. September he shed, he was gone. So that gets us into the week before bow season. We have a cell cam up, and it was the week before. I was working, and I checked my cameras, and the deer that he's with shows up, but he doesn't show. So I know that the week before I got the other target buck that I have, he's showing up. He showed up for 2 minutes, to enough where I could get a photo of him, but SYM10's gone. So at this point I'm kind of panic mode. We just had youth weekend. Did somebody kill him? If a kid killed him, great. I hope they did. I was scrambling over Facebook. I was looking, talking to people, seeing if anybody killed any deer around there, but no one had. All right, what's going on? It is opening day here in Virginia. So we got up around 5 o'clock this morning, got all of our stuff on. It's currently 5:30, well 5:45, I was running a little behind. Got a little bit of a overcast that we weren't planning for, so we're gonna kind of see where we're gonna set. It hadn't rained in a little bit, so the spot I'm going to, usually when it rains, the deer kind of like to pop out right around an hour, 2 hours after it quits. So we'll see. It's supposed to stop raining around 6:30, 7ish, so right there around our daylight time, especially with an overcast. So we'll see how it goes. We're only gonna be a hunt just a little bit this morning. We're packing up and heading to Pittsburgh. Once we get done, we're gonna go up there and watch a football game. So Haley's hunting at the house. I'm hunting over here at our different piece that we have, where we got the 12-pointer, the 2 10-pointers, and the 9-pointer. Any of those show up, it's gonna be game on. We're not gonna look for shooting a doe today, just because we don't have the time or the place to kind of butcher one up today. All right, so we're here, raining a little bit harder than what we thought it was going to be. So we're just going to kind of take our time. They said false dawn's not going to start until around 6:45. It's 6:11, so we're getting all our stuff on now, putting our boots on, our chesty, we got our bow hanging, we're ready to go. But just going to ease in, let the rain cover our movements in. We're just going to probably just bump and dump something up. I got my 2 XOP sticks, and I got my out on a limb platform, so not really worried about if we can get up in the tree, because we're going to get up in one way or another. So y'all stay tuned, and we'll see you in the tree. I go in, I set at a preset spot that I have overlooking the camera, thinking maybe, just maybe, he'll come back through. All right, we're in the stand. Kind of calm for the last like 10, 15 minutes. Still raining a little bit. I got some ranges just in case something pops out quick, I can make a shot. So we got all that figured out. It's super thick in here still, so for the shot's still probably going to be about 30, 35, except for a couple windows that I have. Other than that, I'm going to say my quick prayer that I always say whenever I go hunt. It's opening day. At the end of the day, you got to remember to, thank the Lord that we're able to harvest these animals, and that He gives us these creatures that we can go out here and do the hobbies that we do. So I'm going to say my prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for giving us a beautiful day to come out here and enjoy the things that I do. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Alright. So let's recap this morning's hunt. Only hunted for a little bit, didn't hunt long. But squirrels in there about the size of groundhogs. We learned that. Deer aren't necessarily moving a bunch where they were at earlier in the year, which I figured that deer changes their spots all the time. So I figured that was gonna happen. I was walking out, I was coming out pretty slow, just kind of ease, and then didn't want to jump up a whole bunch, disturb anything, just because I was coming out so early. And actually jumped up a buck that I call Ed. And the reason I call him that is because he's got one horn. One horn on his right side. So we jumped him up. He was kind of over towards the left of where we were setting in like a water line cut. So that's good to know for future reference.
We won't be able to hunt again until Monday evening. So, and that overall is a pretty good set. I mean, I think there's definitely deer in there. It's just a matter of being in there where they're gonna cut through and finding the right path for them. So I'm not really disappointed. So other than that, that's it for day one for me.
Monday evening we get back at around 1 o'clock, and you know, I wanted to be in the stand by 3:30.
It's 4:30. We've been up in the tree for about an hour. You can tell it's raining pretty hard, so it's supposed to calm down here in the next hour or so. The big part's coming through right now. Our second day being able to hunt, so we're going to get out here and hunt. We didn't have a blind set up anywhere, so we couldn't do that. We're setting over a big trail that walks through the bottom from where I was hunting at on Saturday morning, so hopefully we'll catch something slipping through. But the rain conditions, it's unclear what's going to happen. We are watching the red, about 27 yards to the left. The trail comes right underneath of us at about 15 yards. When there's a scrape over there, it's kind of looks a little fresh, so we're going to see what happens. But other than that, we're going to cover the camera up, make sure it don't get super wet, and if something happens, we'll pull you back out. All right, so hunt recap. It rained on us for probably a good 2.5, 3 hours. It was just pouring down rain. It wouldn't stop. All right, so it rained probably 2.5, 3 hours. Every bit of it. It just it kept on and kept on, wouldn't stop. My radar was basically wrong about the whole situation, so I'm soaked. Everything I have, my camera, everything like that. So it rained hard for a good bit, and then it kind of let up a tad. And so when it let up was when the two does come out about 20 yards. It looks like a mama, and this year's fawn probably. They didn't really pay much attention to me. They come in at 20 yards and hung out for a little bit. I think the biggest thing was they kind of spooked out. My wind was blowing back, like back up the hill where I kind of first came from, which is how I wanted it. So I don't know what spooked them. It wasn't me. But whatever it was, a little later on, a little spike that I call Ed, he come through with another little buck. I couldn't tell what he was. I could just tell that he was smaller. They come through, they're probably about 40 to 50 yards down in the thicket. They're coming from the right to the left, and they stopped, and they're looking in the same area those does were. So it kind of got me thinking that something, I don't know what, but something was down there that, you know, none of them really liked. So what I did was I just kind of hung it out. Nothing ended up coming through, so I don't know what that whole thing was. Sorry. Nothing ended up coming through, so I'm not sure. I don't think my wind circled. I mean, it very well could have swirled down there. I don't know. But Monday evening, pretty good. Seen 4 deer total and a fox. He come into 14 yards right there on the trail. I was going to take a shot at him, but you know, he was moving too quick, wouldn't stop for anything. I didn't even get time to flip my camera over or grab my bow or anything. So we're not really stressed about it. He looked maybe like he was 20 pounds, maybe if that. So not really pressed about it. We'll get back at it in the morning. We left all of our stuff in there. We left our camera arm, our bow hook, and everything like that, our stand. So we carried everything that, you know, needs to dry off tonight. We'll go home, dry it all out, eat supper, regroup, get a game plan, check our cameras, and see what we have for in the morning. We'll hunt in the morning for probably until lunch. Gonna try to.
Tuesday. So we get to Tuesday morning. This is set number 3 of the year for me. I ended up leaving my stuff, you know, that way I've had 2 pre-hung spots, thinking where I'm gonna go. I end up going back to the same tree I hunted that evening. I seen deer. I know there's a path there. It's overlooking another camera that I have, and there's also horned trees in a line.
All right.
outside of the thicket that we have over here, right about 40 to 50 yards. We checked our cameras that are right over top of where we're at. Looks like the last picture we have of one of our big bucks here is on the 27th. So it's been a couple weeks. And that was at 9 o'clock in the morning. But I mean, that doesn't mean he's not moving through here. We got a fresh rub behind us. And a fresh scrape, everything like that. So could just be working a different path. Deer have been taking the path kind of from this way to that way, like this. But I've noticed that in that last camera check, it looked like mid-September they started switching up, where they started passing like this, so from left to right, from south to north, north to south, east to west, or west to east. So even if we catch one slipping, you know, you move it one of those ways, we'll be all right with it. We got kind of an opening right over here to our back right that we've never really seen deer in, but we've never hunted it before, so this is our first really. All right, it's 8:31. It's been an hour since last time. Haven't seen any deer movement yet. You know, we're doing that challenge with me, Anthony, Haley, and Steven. So we're doing like the most bucks, does, scoreable points. So like even if you kill a 4-pointer, but you're the only one that killed a buck all year, you still win that point. So we'll do a point system where you get 1 point for, you know, number of bucks you kill, 1 point for number of does you kill, 1 point for the scoreable points, and then 1 point for the total amount of deer you kill. So we'll see.
Hunt that morning, and I ended up not seeing anything. So while I'm climbing down, I pull all my stuff out, and I was like, okay, I need to switch it up. I need to switch it up this evening, and I'm gonna switch it up in the morning. So I walked the path to my other camera, pulled the SD card, looking for trails. I find a couple new paths, and I walk up to my food area, which is just nothing but a bunch of acorns. It's heavy in acorns. So I pull that card, and I've got pictures of deer. Not necessarily him, but I've got pictures of other deer that, you know, might be with him. So I go back to the house, go through my SD cards, and make a plan that I'm gonna set on the food tonight. My wind is kind of pushing towards the food in a way. It's going north. So I figured if I set on the north end of the plot, if they're coming from somewhere else, then maybe they might not hit me. So I sit on the north end of it. Ended up not seeing anything except for my fox friend again. So I told myself, you know, getting pretty aggravated, haven't seen any deer. I know there's deer here, and I haven't seen anything. So that gets me to Wednesday morning.
All right, it's the morning of Wednesday, October the 11th. It's 7:41. We're at the same spot. Still trying to hunt these deer, man. They're in here. We just can't find them when we need to. We're sitting on a creek bottom. Got a creek bottom to our left. Probably about 30 yards. like something crashed. Holy shit. I'm gonna go check and see if I can find my arrow real quick. We're not gonna push anything, but we're just gonna check and see if there's any blood on it. If not, then we're just gonna get out and go. But I think I heard something crash over there.
All right, so waiting on Steven to get here. We're sitting in the car waiting. I watched the video. He kicked it. He definitely kicked. He acted like he was hit, so I know for a fact I hit him. I found blood when I went to try to find my arrow. I couldn't find my arrow. It's super, super thick, which you can see that. Just hoping that we put a good enough shot on him to where if he's down, he's down. It'll be an hour and a half by the time he gets here. If we didn't get him, hopefully the shot, you know, doesn't affect his, you know, likelihood to live. But I think I heard him crash. So we're optimistic. We're super optimistic. Like I said, we're just playing the waiting game now. Steven gets here. We'll kind of play it by then. But right now I'm just kind of sitting here drinking my drink to wake up a little bit and going over video and just kind of sending it to a couple people, seeing their reactions on it. So we're going to start tracking here within the next 20 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we got a deer down. Took him long enough. Finally here. All right, start tracking. All right, so Steven got here. It's been about an hour and a half since I shot at him. Walked down. Just to give you a reference, the tree that I was in, if you can see from here, was, if you look between these two, it's like if you come over here to me.
Yep.
It's right there. So it's that one right there. So here's our first blood right there. I shot him more over that way. Steven found the arrow, so we got to pass through. It was sitting just right there before the creek. So we're going to follow this and kind of see where it takes us, but we'll see.
We'll just keep recording in case we come up on them.
Just look out and see if I see him.
You still got blood?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's,
It ain't a whole bunch, but it's bleeding pretty good.
sorry, I was trying not to do my video. Hey, shine your binoculars right there.
Huh?
Put your binoculars belly.
Yeah, just go.
Piled up. There he is. Looks like him, man. It's the Templar. It's the just.
No way.
It's a symmetrical 10.
Shoot.
No way.
I mean, he's not the biggest thing in the world, but
Shoot, it's a good deer.
little back. That's the symmetrical 10 that I've been wanting to. Dang.
Good stuff, buddy.
I'll take it.
He's a good. I mean, he's got a big body on him.
He's freaking huge, man.
Good work, buddy.
This is one of the, what, 5 deer that I've been watching over here.
Yep.
So there's this, it's this symmetrical 10. There's the big 9 that's got a split on the end. There's the 10 that's got a kicker on the left. Then there's the 12 or the 13 pointer. So he's got a big old body. Nice little, he's almost freaking touching.
Mm-hmm.
Cool deal. Now the fun begins.
Yeah. Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
He was just as beautiful in person as what he was in camera. But, you know, it was the it was the first deer I've ever actually been successful on hunting. Setting a plan, trying to, you know, pattern him, and I've actually been able to make it happen. That's the first time it's ever happened to me. So super, super blessed for that. As far as, you know, killing him, obviously, you know, you wouldn't be able to do it without, you know, the good Lord making the creatures and stuff for us to be able to harvest. And as far as, you know, helping me, you know, throw out corn, constantly checking through cameras, going and shooting with me, making sure I'm good, and always letting me bug him. You know, Anthony helped me a lot with that because I didn't want to carry a 50-pound bag of corn in, so I made him carry it. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of people to thank, you know, to be able to knock a deer down like that. Unfortunately, Anthony was out on a catfishing trip, so he didn't get to experience that with me. But we got plenty more deer left that we're trying to get a hold of, and he has no more trips planned. So he is now mine until the end of season. But other than that, you know, that's the story of SYM10 that I have. I wish that, you know, he could tell his story, because I'm sure he has a different angle on it, and, you know, how he patterned me and how he screwed up and I got successful. So, but other than that, you know, thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe. You know, hopefully we knock down some more deer. We got some more big deer on camera that we're going to try to get a hold to. We're still hunting them. Go give us a like on Instagram. You know, our podcast, we're going to be revamping our podcast with a nice little setup we got behind us. It's something new. If you want some stickers, we have these stickers right here for sale on our Shopify. I'll leave the link below. Use code EHO in all caps, 23 exclamation point for free shipping on those. Other than that, thank y'all for watching. At the end of the day, just keep hunting.